What is up, everybody? Calling all angels. We are here to talk about the weekend matchups. Those wondering about the recaps of previous stuff, that will be up to. That will be going. I'm going to actually recap the Friday match with the Wednesday matches, so that's all going to happen all at once. So I'm waiting for that one to conclude. You'll probably see that come up sometime on Saturday. Now, as for everything that's coming up this weekend, we got 7 other matches that have to be gone through. So, starting off, we've got Louisville and Chicago. This is a bottom 4 matchup. Clash of two teams that really are jockeying to avoid the bottom of the table. And Louisville being home does give them an edge, though they're not that far apart from where Chicago is, so it's not like it's a long trip. Also, Louisville came off a big win just a week ago and then a huge loss a couple days before. Again, I'll talk about that when the time comes. I'm going to say I think Chicago actually is a little bit more stable as a unit, and I think this one actually is going to go to Chicago. I am expecting a low-scoring match. I'm going to say 1-0 in favor of the Stars. And yeah, it's not a hugely important game in the standings in terms of making an impact, but Louisville's trying to get to double digits. Chicago's trying to not fall into last place. So there is some stuff on the line. More important is the match coming up right after that, which is Kansas City, Angel City. So we've got a rematch here from a game that took place not too long ago where Angel City picked up a win off of Kansas City Current, and now they've made their trek over to the middle of the country to have this opportunity to earn more, while Kansas City is looking for revenge points. This is kind of the main matchup of the entire day, because it's the only one where both teams are currently positioned in playoff positioning. This also might be the only game I can actually live all weekend. I've been looking at scheduling just in general this week. Sunday is a complete no-go. Saturday, there is I think a window where I can do this one live, but I can't guarantee this one actually. This is actually proven to be a pretty hectic weekend, so I am glad I got to do 2 last week just in case. As for the matchup itself, Angel City usually will respond a little bit better to a defeat, but it can still turn pretty ugly and things can mount on them pretty quickly. So I am going to look at this one. It's going to get its own preview as well in a bit, but I'm going to say this one ends in a draw. And so, yeah, I'm going to give this one a 1-1 draw, but it is of major importance to both, so expect a hard game from each one to not falter. Kansas City already got a win earlier this week, so I think that does put them at a little bit of a disadvantage, having to play 2 times in a week, which is why I think they will be somewhat limited. But for some reason, I think Angel City blows the chance to pull ahead, and they'll settle for 1. Moving forward here, we got Houston and Gotham. Definitely a matchup that Gotham should be winning. They are competing for the top. Houston, at this point, are just competing for relevance. And looking at the way they've been playing, Houston has definitely been trending like they've been treading water, and Gotham has been on the upswing pretty much since we got back through. They did just receive word that one of their players will be out for the season, so there is a little bit of how is the team going to respond to this unfortunate news for themselves. My guess is it won't really be too relevant in this one. I think Gotham wins by 2 goals regardless. I'll give them a 2-0 victory, but if Houston can get a goal, I can see pressure start to build on Gotham, and they might be able to snag a point. We'll see. Last up, we got Bay FC and Seattle. This is another one where Seattle is contending to try to get back into the playoff spots, and Bay is trying to get where Seattle is, where there's a real possibility. Bay has looked really solid at home, and especially since coming back from the World Cup break. So I am going to speak a little optimistically of them. I'm going to state that I think Bay pulls an upset here. I'm going to give Bay a 2-1 victory. Seattle did look pretty solid the last couple weeks, other than that last 10 minutes against Gotham where they just blew a multi-goal lead in rapid succession. But I think their luck runs out. They usually have an issue with consistency, and I think this is where it rears its head. So I'm going to give Bay the full 3 on this one. Moving to Sunday. Triple header. We start with Washington and San Diego. Battle of 2 teams in the top 4. This is, for my money, the game of the week. Washington has obviously looked like the much better team for most of this. That much I really can't argue at all. But San Diego has really solid second halves, makes things very difficult for teams. So I am looking at this matchup, and really I'm thinking this one is going to be played to a draw. Washington will have a lead early, but I do think San Diego plays it strong late. I'm going to say this one ends up being 2-2 and is pretty eventful, all things considered. And it should be a really solid game. This one being at 1 p.m. on the West Coast, so San Diego fans, nice and early for you. But yeah, I'm looking at this one being another one where the teams struggle to gain separation on each other and just settle for one each, which I'm sure Gotham will be happy about because it puts them back in the mix for that front spot. Moving on, we got Utah and Portland. So, all right. With Utah and Portland, you have, again, top 5 teams here. And what you're looking at is a Utah team who I think is competitive with the top, but is not actually like at that level. They are a step below, and a team in Portland who can be at that level but not consistently, and depending on style, and it just depends a little bit on stylistics. Looking at that differentiation, I'm gonna say for an away game, I'm not gonna give it to Portland. I'm gonna give Utah a slight nod on it to 1. But a lot of that boils down to the fact that it's at home. If this was in Portland, I would probably take the Thorns here. But for the time being, I am going to say let's mark it as 3 for Utah Royals here. And then to conclude it, we've got Denver hosting Boston, Battle of the Expansions, round 2. These two met in Foxborough before. They'll be back in Denver this time. This one's going to be at... it's a fairly late one. In theory, this I actually stand corrected on this. Looking at the late time frame, this actually might have an opening. I thought Angel City might be the only window, but this one's late enough that I might have a shot. So, if nothing else, be on the lookout for Denver-Boston. I will double check, but I think that one's actually going to fit. Now, as for this match... looking at it, I would say Denver should have the edge pretty cleanly, but that's not going to be a guarantee in any case. My big thing with what Denver is that they struggle after the first few minutes, and Boston has proven resilient late. And so that's kind of the pattern I'm seeing. Denver will give Boston ample opportunity. So I project them probably going up double digit, like more than 1 goal by halftime, but Boston rampaging back. I'm going to give this a 2-1 victory for Denver to get the full, but that comes with a heavy grain of salt. I think Boston has improved a significant deal since the first time they met. And so I would not be surprised to see the Legacy make some huge inroads on this one. But we will see how that shakes out. Definitely a fun time. All 7 of these matchups should be intriguing. Hopefully, you all will get some time to enjoy your team as they play. I know Liga MX is also starting this weekend, so if you're a fan there as well, enjoy yourself there. Enjoy all your football. Potentially get ready for a World Cup boycott. I'll have to discuss that during the live when that comes up. But yeah, enjoy your games. Have fun with what you're doing. And as always, go Angels.